This is the voice of the report of the week. Signing on. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, June 2nd, 2014. The time currently is 3:25 p.m. And this is the report of the week with yet another VORW show. It is a Monday. Late in the day at that, but it's still a Monday. Closer to a Tuesday. Still far from a Friday. How are we all doing today? I hope you're all doing fine, as I always do. You all know I do. You know I all hope for the best. I always do. I hope all of you are doing fine. Hope your days were, if eventful, everything went well. If they were uneventful, I still hope you enjoyed your day. Yeah, I'm not doing much of all right now. I'm just sitting here. I just turned on the computer, actually. So I was actually just going to start listening to the news via the Voice of America. But instead I decided, I'm going to do a VORW show today. As I normally do on Mondays. Other than that, I didn't do anything. It was a warmer day today in at least our area. It was in the 80s. In the 80s, so I dressed a little more liberal, I suppose, than normal. So I wore black pants and a white dress shirt and a black tie, instead of a jacket or a sweater or anything like that. So that is what I wore. Anyway, let's do some fan mail, shall we? Let's start off the show just like we normally do every day, every week, or whenever we start up the show, right? First, let's make sure this is on. Okay, we're recording. Yeah, recording. First, we got a fan art submission. Don't answer the phone. Let it ring out. Got a fan art submission here via Reddit. It's not bad. It's not a bad one. 24. What's today's show gonna be? Maybe I should do that one. I'm thinking which fan art I'm gonna use, people. Well, maybe I'll get him to edit it for 25. We'll see which one. Which one will we pick? Who knows? I'll pick one though. Let's read the fan mail. Hello, Reverend Review Bra. How are you doing today? I very much enjoyed your recent VORW. Always, along with the follow-up running on empty. I'm also loving the mullet. Keep doing what you do best and let your haters be your motivators. As always, intro out of the way, this is mostly in regards to your comments made at the end of the VORW 23. You mentioned that you do not like the technology in advance since you are comfortable with how it is currently. I think you forgot that not even a decade ago the internet was too slow to even support even the streaming of video over dial-up internet. Yeah, I understand that, and I do realize that even a decade ago the internet wasn't as fast as it once was. But at the same token, if I went back in time a decade ago, I managed with what I had. And so did everyone else, you know? You didn't have video sharing sites, you didn't have, at least too many of those video sharing sites or any of that stuff. But people were content with it, you know? Even before the internet, people were content with what they had. I'm content with what I have currently. Especially right now. The internet's fine as it is. I don't need it to be any faster. I don't have a problem with that. Now imagine yourself a decade in the future from now. Imagine the technological possibilities that will be on offer. Do you predict yourself saying, I'm content with smart contact lenses, it doesn't need to go any further than this? And 2 decades in the future, I'm content with 3D printed organs to replace my failed kidneys. Well, chances are I wouldn't adapt to that. Right now I don't even have a smartphone, and I don't plan on having one. But I can understand, at least to different individuals, that being a possibility. Of course, when many people see an advancement in technology, they think, holy crap, this is amazing, But sometimes, in my opinion at least, and this is an unpopular one at that, sometimes I think tried and true is sometimes the best. Because all this smart technology still has the chance of failing on you. Whatever. And then he continued on talking about that. Living off the grid, I wouldn't be doing that to really like save energy or anything. I'd be doing that to isolate myself from humanity. That's why. Because eventually the less people I see, the better. It's the truth. It's a sad truth, but it's the truth. And I'm talking about decades from now. If all this junk food and all that stuff doesn't kill me yet. Hey man, full disclosure, I'm a fit lurker and I've heard about you there. That's fine, I don't mind you guys. For the most part, most of you guys are fine. I like your food and energy drink reviews. I relate to your patterns of speech and admire your willingness to pursue your interests. Despite your having a style that will most likely keep you out of the mainstream. Most likely, you never know. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You ever try a drink called Go Fast? They're based out of Colorado. I order a case from time to time. The really good ones are the berry hybrid and coconut hybrid flavors. That's cool. I actually had a Bing. It was called Bing. It was from Colorado. That wasn't bad. I might as well try this one as long as it doesn't have any pot or anything in it. Being that it's from Colorado and all that. But as long as it's not laced with anything else, I'll try it. Maybe at one point. Got another fan art submission. Let's see how this one is. That's not bad. I'm liking that one. It's a fine one. It's a fine one. We're getting many good fan art submissions, and keep them coming, people. Listen, for all of you submitting fan art, don't be upset if you don't see your submission featured, for weeks, if not longer. I don't publish these shows every day. But I promise I will get to every last submission, assuming it is not vulgar or insulting. I will get to every last one, and I will feature it on the show. So just be patient, people, and at some point your submission will be featured here. Admiration. Dear Report of the Week. Hi, you're a really awesome guy, and I couldn't think of a better opening than tell you that you are a very awesome man. Report of the Week, you may not be aware of this, but you inspire and invoke admiration in a lot of people, each of them stemming from a different part of life. I myself am in pre-med. I find it extremely comforting to listen and relax to your VORW shows. It allows me to take a step back, reflect, and take on my challenges with a head held high. I've asked you this before, but I would love some elaboration about your thoughts on the Twilight Zone. What is your favorite episode? Why is it your favorite? What do you think of the current state of television today, based on television in the 1960s? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and stay well. Respectfully, Rob. Well, Rob, first off, it's absolutely great to see my talks have helped you calm down and relax and give you the confidence you need to take on a new day, and I think that's absolutely great. As for the Twilight Zone, I actually do have all of the DVDs and all the episodes, not the new ones, I'm talking about the original ones from the 60s. I've been actually watching them every Sunday night. I'll watch 2 episodes with dinner, and I've been doing that since January of 2013. So I watch 2 Twilight Zone episodes every Sunday evening. I have my pizza, and that's a little tradition of mine. I don't know if I could really say I have a favorite episode. Of course, there's all the classic ones, the monsters who do on Maple Street, and of course Nightmare and 20,000 Feet with, of course, a younger William Shatner. I have many others. The one, I think it's called To Serve Man. That's a fine one. So I really can't say I have a favorite, but a lot of the classics are good ones. And then there's a lot of smaller ones that I also like. It's very rare for me to find a Twilight Zone episode I don't like. There's some, though, in particular the Western ones that I'm not really a fan of, but still, it doesn't really bother me at all. I can't say I've really found a bad one, per se. The current state of television today, based on television in the 1960s. Today's the day to ask, I'll tell you that, my friend. I actually gave a good 40-minute talk today to someone about the 1960s, and I brought up television in that said lecture. Television today cannot be compared to that was once in the 1960s. You know, television back then was slower paced, alright? Because back then, you think about it, in the 1960s, people were different back then. You know, nowadays, and please understand, I don't mean this in a insulting manner at all, but many, and I'm not saying everyone, but many individuals today seek instant gratification. Alright? Everyone wants everything now and as fast as possible. You know, that's why, for instance, with the internet, nobody was really content with slow internet, even though, of course, if you had the patience to wait, you'd still get what you wanted in the end. Everyone wants stuff fast, now, ASAP, right? As soon as possible, not as slow as possible. But, you know, it's an instant gratification society now, at least in first world countries we're talking. But back in the day, you know, people, I suppose, maybe it could be because of the absence of the internet, but people were, to a degree, more patient. So, with that being said, many shows back then focused more on the plot rather than action and all of that. So, the Twilight Zone was more of an intellectual series. I don't think, if it were made today, I don't think it would really take off at all. You know, television and movies today are all these, you know, these grand performances that have all these 3D and computer-generated effects and violence galore and sex and drugs and all this stuff. And, of course, while it can amplify the plot and make things interesting, it's totally different. And it's meant to serve a different culture and a different society than what was around back in the 60s. You know, a lot of shows back in the 1960s promoted traditional values still. You had, the Andy Griffith Show, the small town sheriff there. You had the original Batman, the live action series. The original Star Trek. You had Twilight Zone. You had many great shows from back in the 60s. But they were completely different. They were meant to serve a different audience and a different generation of people. And while, of course, knowing me and knowing my interests, I, of course, don't mind them, it's just they're different, you know? And if I were to say television today is crap, which, truth be told, I really won't disagree with that statement, but I think many people would disagree with me and some would agree, but it's meant to serve a different type of people. I went a while talking about this one. Let's go ahead and read some more. You're a genius, mate. Seriously, who the F are you? A comedic genius such as yourself comes along maybe once in 1,000 years, like a legendary super saiyan. I just want to tell you that some bleeps such as myself appreciate your work. Heart. Thank you. VORW, favorite films and actors. Hello, sir, longtime fan of your channel. I am interested in hearing you discuss some of your personal favorite films, as well as your favorite actors and actresses, if you have any. Keep up the good work, mate. Steve. Well, Steve, I have actually several. I don't really have any favorite films. I'm not a big movie person. You know, I'll watch movies here and there. I've actually been trying to watch more movies lately. I've been trying to watch one every few nights during the weeknights. So I watched Her, finally, the one where the guy falls in love with his smartphone, pretty much, or the computer app. It's in AI, and I think that movie gives a good realistic look at what the world's going to be like in the 2020s. That's, I'm assuming, when it takes place. So... that's one interesting thing about that movie. I also watched We Were Soldiers. That's an interesting one. It's about the Vietnam War. As per that one individual's request a while back, I watched Running on Empty, the 80s film. And now I don't know what else I'm going to watch. I'll pick one tonight or something maybe. The World Cup. Dear Mr. Report of the Week, I was pleased to hear your reply about the World Cup on VORW Show 23. I presume you will be supporting the United States for obvious reasons. Yes. However, as their chances of winning the tournament are incredibly slim, who do you think will win the trophy? I hope Italy does well, as they have a great football history and their culture is something that I love. You also said that you were an avid baseball and football fan. American football. I love to know what teams you support. I enjoy watching Yasiel Puig and the Dodgers, and Tom Brady and the Patriots, respectfully. Keep her lit. Of course, for obvious reasons, I'm rooting for the U.S. for the World Cup, but it's doubtful that they'll actually win. Italy actually does have some great football teams, and by football, I mean us Americans, I suppose, call it soccer, but I prefer to refer to it as its correct European name, so I'll call it football, and then American football, respectfully, is the other sport. But Italy does have some great football teams. Definitely, I know Spain has some legendary teams, likewise. But Italy, it does have a rich history, as you said. Yeah, so my sports. Of course, I'm a fan of my hometown team, the New York Yankees, complete with good old Derek Jeter. He's a classic. Football, American football. I'll watch. I usually just root for the winning team. There's so many games going on. I mean, listen, I'm a Giants fan, but they didn't do as well as I hoped back in the day, but well. And NASCAR, of course, I support Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon especially, but I'm also a fan of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Casey Kane, the whole Hendricks Motorsports team. My wife and I love your show. Could you please give a shout out to Sinclair, our cat? He watches your show with us every time you post. He'd appreciate it a lot. Thank you and keep up the great entertainment. From Tom. Oh, absolutely. I'm always pleasant to give a shout out to anyone, be it a pet, an animal, or a human being. So I gladly give an official Report of the Week shout out to Sinclair the cat. Sinclair, you have an official shout out. Hello, dude. I enjoy your videos, and I hope you will add some color to them. It's so dull and gray that some color would be a treat. No, I'd rather not. I actually prefer to keep conservative suits and conservative ties and all that. I mean, maybe one day I will, but for now it's just complete conservative right now. Maybe I'll wear a dim red tie one day. Today I told you I'm wearing black pants and a solid black tie and a white shirt. Some more fan art. Looks good. Questions? I don't know if I can answer all these. Hi, first off of all, sorry for my English. Heh. I don't know if you answer messages, but since you have a message box, I'll take the liberty of answering some questions. What do you study? Cannot answer. Who is your role model? I have various role models. I do. Many role models I have, of course. I have a few. I don't know if you really want to know them. Maybe I'll send them to you in a message. I have a few personal ones, such as family and relatives, and who are always there for me and have taught me the ways. But then I have also various political figures and writers and all of that. I'll tell you this, though, if you really want to have a broad generalization, really none of my role models are still alive today. So what do you do for fun when you are not making videos? Bask in my suit collection, listen to shortwave radio, and play games on the computer. Take night walks, and, of course, read. Where do you find yourself on the political spectrum? I cannot answer. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, dude. In a video, you said you were going to throw a rock in some guy's car. Did you do it at the end? No, I didn't. That was from my, I believe, public bus lecture back in 2012. Glad you actually watched the videos from back then. I did not. That's sarcasm, my friend. I would never do that. Though actually yesterday I felt I was almost as mad where I probably would have been able to do so without hesitation to this one guy's car, but I'll tell you that story later on in the show. 20 minutes in, we're almost at the end of the fan art, and then we get to discussion. That sound good? Cool. New viewer just saying hi. Hi, report of the week. I just want to send you a quick message saying that I enjoy your videos a lot. Exclamation points. I don't know why, but I like people talking about things that a lot of people would find mundane. Most friends I have don't get the point of food reviewers. But to me, it's just relaxing and fun to learn. I also think it sucks people send you hate and stuff. I watched a video where you mentioned 4chan. I just wanted to say that not everyone on there is rude towards people or plain hateful. I know a few people who also enjoy your videos. A great amount, a few people from there. Good job on all the videos thus far, and I hope you continue to make them. Have a great day. Alright, thank you. The whole deal with this, that. 4chan is a unique site, but it's not a site to be reckoned with. They're a very strong force. They are. They hold great power on the internet. So, say, for instance, as I suppose some of you say, if they gonna talk smack, right, about me, you let them. You let them say whatever the heck they want, and you're not gonna intervene. Alright? You can't really fight against it. I figure if 4chan says something about me, well, let them say it. If they don't, they don't. If they do, they do. That's all you can do. This guy challenges me. This dark path of energy drinks and open up the hell gates if no explode. And I'm here to tell you that there's an energy drink that you may not be able to handle. It's called Endo Rush, and it's by the same makers of No Explode. You can find it at any vitamin shop or GNC, likely. Post later effects of how you feel afterwards. Get those massive gains. I'll try them. And another fan art submission. Alright, let's just see what Reddit's got to say, and then we're off. We're off and ready to party! Right? Review, bro! I'm sipping on Monster. Just got to enjoy life and can't care what you put in your stomach, right? Review, bro, you should do a video on his doorbell. The doorbell features in nearly as many of his videos as Review Bro himself, and has arguably become quite an integral part of his videos in general. It's only right to do an in-depth discussion, maybe even a review of the magnificent doorbell. Yours majestically, Big Steve. It's not my doorbell. The music chime that you might hear is the chime of a clock, and the higher-pitched ding is that of a grandfather clock. The doorbell has only gone off in one video of them all. That being my latest VORW. The grandfather clock's a fine one, European, I believe, from the early 1700s, and I'll be actually talking about it in my average day video. Okay. Review, bruh. Change back your hairstyle. In your earlier videos, like Energy Crisis, Energy Drink Review 19, your hair looked so nice and relaxed. Now it's pressed against your head and looks all watery. Just imagine how attractive you would look with your hair in a nice slim fit dress shirt and dress pants. That combined with your aesthetics and charisma and the fact that you run a successful YouTube channel would make you irresistible to QT 3.14s. No. I could only hope that was a joke, knowing my absolute hatred, and it's pure hatred, to some fit suits. Likewise, also, the hairstyle is what it is, and it will stay as it is. I will never abandon this style, and I will never abandon traditional suits, which many of you, at least many people who own modern suits, would consider to be a little baggy, I suppose. But I prefer my room, and I prefer more of a traditional fit and style. I figure I'm just going to be who I am. I'm never going to change. And you know what? Even if that negatively affects my chances, just let it. Just let it. I'm happy as I am now, and whatever happens, happens. Right? You know, if I live on without QT's 3.14S, so be it. You know, as I said, I think in a previous one, romance does not run my life. You know, I don't live my life day by day saying, oh man, I can't believe I didn't get a girlfriend today, or anything like that. I don't know, it just doesn't have an impact on me like that, so I figure, there's a philosophy I run by, it was a famous philosopher who has this, we just let whatever happens, happens, you know, for instance, if I'm living life and whatever happens, if I find something along the way, well then I do, and if I don't, it's not going to be the end of the world, and oh well, it is what it is, as I always say. Yeah, it's discussions for today, right? So we start off the show. We got so much fan art now. I don't know how I'm gonna manage all this, but we'll find a way. We'll find a way. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know what show exactly, or what am I doing? Yeah, I don't know what exactly like the fan art we're gonna use for this show is. I have no idea, but I mean we'll see. We'll see whatever happens. So who knows? Who knows? Just let it happen, right? Let it go. So I'll pick whichever one I deem to be most suitable. As you know, I normally like to do a food review post VORW. Today is not one of those days. Alright? For whatever reason, a food review will be posted tomorrow. Okay? Food review tomorrow. I think it's going to be on the Twizzlers. So I hope you can manage with that. But, yeah, food review is going to be tomorrow. And, that's that. You know, so you're still getting the content from me, but just don't be upset if, you know, you don't see a food review coming up immediately after this one. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. But you will get a review from me tomorrow. So please do remember that. Do remember that. Okay. So that settles that. Turn on some music. And hopefully not get fined for copyright infringement. So, that being said. Yeah, what was I gonna say? I told you earlier, right? I told you, when the gentleman asked me about The Rock. Not the athlete or the boxer, whoever that is, the wrestler. Whoever that person was, The Rock, right? Not that Rock. The Rock thrown through the car window, right? I got a little story to tell you. Actually, let me take my microphone up and let me carry it outside. So I can tell it to you right now. Do you remember a little while ago, I told you all the story as to the one bad neighbor that we have who vandalized our property last year? Did I tell you the story about him? Anyway, I'll cut it to you in brief. We have this neighbor at the end of the street. you know that, there's all of you know this type of person. He's one of those like ultra patriots, right? He's one of those guys that's always there. He's sitting there. He's always got the American flag outside. And I'm not bashing the country. I always think it's good to be nationalistic, but he takes it to extreme degrees. He's one of those guys. He's there driving like a Hummer. He's got all those bumper stickers that say like "Impeach Obama," "God bless America," whatever, all that stuff. Flying the American flag high and proud. You know those type of guys. I remember when I think Osama bin Laden died. Of course, I suppose, as terrible as it sounds, I suppose it was acceptable at the time to celebrate such a horrible person's death. But even with that being said, he was there with this big sign outside of his house for weeks that said "Burn in Hell" or whatever. So he's got a kick out of that. But this individual, living in the land of the free and home of the brave, is so patriotic that even in such a great land, right, where you have the rights to be who you want, you have to conform to his standards, or else you're un-American. Isn't that ironic? So apparently, last year he deemed us too European, or whatever you want to call it, just because, whatever, I don't know. But anyway, I guess we did something he didn't like. I think it's because we wear suits or whatever, so I think he didn't like that for some reason. So he came over last year, and on one summer day, of course, as you know, I'm up all night every night, so we didn't do anything at night. But that day, we wake up, and at least I was up at around 2 p.m., and we find that he actually went in and vandalized our property. Destroyed some stuff, splattered stuff all over the driveway, all that stuff. So we cleaned it up, piled it up by the garbage can. At first we didn't know who it was. Alright? We didn't know who did it. So the next day, we go, I'm sorry, a few hours later, after everything's cleaned up, I'm sitting there on the computer. My father's out on an errand. I'm just sitting there on the computer. I see this black car pull up. I think, F. Alright? He comes again for round 2. And he did indeed. So he came back. He actually took the stuff that we piled up by the garbage cans and spread it around again. Just to inconvenience us, personally. This time, I actually took a video of him doing it. And got his license plate. So, after he drove off, we went down to clean it up. And my neighbor across the street, who's actually an ethnic European guy, he's got this thick German accent. I think he's actually from Germany, so he's more European than we are. He comes out, and he actually helps clean it up, and he says, "I don't know what the hell's wrong with this guy." I said, "I got his license plate, and believe it or not, he just pulled into the driveway, into the garage at the house right at the end of the road there." So, we had the evidence and everything on camera, and we had his license plate and his address and his car, and even what he looked like. But we decided, you know what, no, we're not going to do anything about it. Oh well. He had his moment of glory, and we'll let him. So that's what we did. So the other day, I was outside. I was enjoying the day. I was outside. I am now. Microphone in hand. And with that being said, I was out enjoying the nice, almost summer day. Beautiful day in the 60s and 70s and maybe even 80s. And I'm walking, and I see on the front of my garage door what seems to be a marking of some sort. And upon further inspection, would you believe it? Upon further inspection, would you believe that someone threw a gosh damn egg at our garage door. Can you believe that? No, it wasn't new, mind you. It was older. You could tell it had been there a while. I'd say definitely from last year. Though I just happened to notice it now. You know, it's one of those things where it's always been there, you just don't notice it. And it was one of those cases. And with that being said, let me sit down on a chair in front. And with that being said, it's one of those little things that you don't notice at all. But wouldn't that be something? There was an egg that someone threw at our house. And I know only one person who would have done that. Yeah, you guessed it, it was that guy. I just put two and two together, and that's who it was that did it. I guess just to kind of like almost give you the finger, pretty much. You know, well, screw you. For no good reason, just for our being here. So he clearly doesn't like us, and whatever, let him. But if he comes up wielding a gun or whatever, well, then I'll have to call the cops. You know, if he breaks our window or whatever, but bad neighbors are bad neighbors, and people like this you always deal with and live with. And sometimes it's best just to let them do their thing rather than, you know, having to actually go out there and trying to be the tough guy and confronting him or something. Sometimes it just works out best to just let him have his moment of glory and let him get it all out of his system, and, you know. So, with the upcoming summer, I'm sure when he threw the egg, I'm sure that was from probably, you know, whatever, November or sometime. But with the summer fast approaching, that seems to be when he, you know, really was pissed off and really aggravated at us and going up against us and just letting his hatred out at us for, you know, just us being who we are, and this inexplicable hatred, which I'm sure he feels is justified for whatever reason. But once again, with the summer fast approaching, you know, if he tries to pull anything again, I don't know. I'm at that point where I'm just so burnt out, I figure I don't care, I'll let him do what he wants. Right? Is it really worth it to make a case out of it? You know, I have part of me that would say, no, just let him do whatever he wants to do, let him vandalize our property again. You know. And then there's another part of me that says, no, you gotta stand up and, you know, report this guy. But bad neighbors are bad neighbors, and, you know, fervent nationalists are what they are. And there's nothing you can do about that. You just gotta live around them, as we are now. You know, he's always been the aggressor. I've never done anything to him. I've never actually talked to him. But, whatever. He is who he is, and there's no changing that, and you may as well let him enjoy his life, right? There's a little monologue about that. We're still outside. It's a nice day. I find it a nice day. Not a cloud in the sky. Very clear sky. Looking at some of the contrails from planes. Probably taking off from maybe JFK or LaGuardia airports. Contrails, not chemtrails. Do you believe in chemtrails? Are you one of those people that does? Or is it just water vapor? Right, isn't that a good question? Do you think chemtrails are real? Who knows? I don't know. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt that they're real. But I personally cannot prove that they aren't. But I highly doubt that they are real. Though people have reported adverse effects. But I don't know, it seems like just a little water vapor, and just because of various atmospheric conditions, sometimes it just goes away, and other times it stays for a little bit. And I don't think there's anything more to it than that. I think that's all there is to it. But who knows? So I have another suit soon arriving. I do. As you are familiar with, I recently actually wore a new suit. It's a recently purchased. I can't say if it's actually new or not, but it's a recently purchased suit. In my latest energy drink review. Alright, it was a dark green double-breasted suit. And I'm going to buy another one. This one is a gray checkered, very thin checkered pattern. But a gray, subtle gray checkered pattern. Another 6x1 double-breasted suit. So you'll see that featured in an upcoming video, I'm sure. Positive. I will say positive this time around. Alright? How's that sound? Well. Fashion. I see this interesting picture right now. And it makes me think about something. Here's the picture. Take a look at it. Fashion, it's entitled. You see this gentleman. You could tell it's a gentleman by the leg hair. Got some serious facial aesthetics going there. Wearing a garment deemed as pure fashion. It's a pink suit jacket, 3-button, very slim lapels with a pocket handkerchief and a tie, and very broad shoulders. Hey, that looks just like Review Bra, right? No, it doesn't. Those shoulders I wear, sure they're padded up, but they're not that big. Looks like a football player. Wearing a white tie and a shirt, and then with a green dress, and looks like Oxford shoes and pink socks. That's fashion. Oh, with, of course, like a rugby helmet or something. What compels fashion designers to present their models in such, as some may say, an outlandish way? Do they really expect this to take off? Do they really expect people to say, wow, look at this guy, he looks freaking awesome? And everyone just starts, wearing pink suit jackets with oversized shoulder pads and green skirts and pink socks, right? I don't know. But what compels a fashion designer to think, yeah, this is going to sell. This is definitely going to sell. Remains a mystery to us all. I gotta say, how many of you would kill for the aesthetics that this guy has? That's a male model for you. Only the best of the best. So we save that picture. Are you familiar with a musical artist by the name of Grant MacDonald? And I'm going to talk about him more in my average day video. I plan on doing so. You ever hear of him? Mr. Grant MacDonald. He's an aspiring country singer. Okay. He's an aspiring country singer. He produces a variety of music of various topics and genres. And I'm thinking I might try to interview him when I can. Because his music is a very, very unique style. Unlike any other I have heard. And I really find it amusing to listen to. And that's why I've been listening to him for several weeks now. And I still am, and I'll showcase him further on my average day video. This is a song of his entitled Autumn Sun. Hope you give it a listen. I hope you enjoy it. Likewise, this is Autumn Sun. So I hope you enjoy.
Autumn sun, the boats ride under the autumn sun. I'm ready to ride. I'll always be by your side. Out in the cool autumn weather, we'll always be together. Yeah, Jack. Yeah, Jack, I got your back. Out riding our horses together. With you by my side. We'll ride under the autumn sun. While our hearts become one. We'll ride the highway of love. Ain't got nothing to hide. Under the sun we'll have some fun. We're ready to ride. We're ready to ride. Jack, I got your back. Out riding our horses together. With you by my side. We'll ride under the autumn sun. While our hearts become one. Autumn sun, the boats ride under the autumn sun. I'm ready to ride. I'll always be by your side. Out in the cool autumn weather, we'll always be together. Yeah, Jack. Uni, 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 uni. Uni, 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 uni.
And that was his song, Autumn Sun. He has a plethora of songs, totaling at least here at 220. So that being said, he has many songs. Once again, Grant MacDonald. I would actually be curious as to his unique singing style and the unique nature of his songs, where he actually got the inspiration to do so. I will say, I don't know if it's actually his or not. If the background instrumental there, it's quite impressive, and I'm a fan of it, but I do not know if that's actually composed by himself, or if he has a band, or if that's a generic tune. But that was a song, once again, titled Autumn Sun. This artist was recommended to me by a fellow viewer, and I will warn you in advance that many of his songs are of a different nature. And many of them have to deal with cowboys and Vikings and all that. So if you do wish to explore his content, I offer you extreme discretion. I'm not responsible to any of the effects thereof. 50 minutes in, I suppose that's all that needs to be said today. Various topics were discussed, and as I said before, assuming everything goes as scheduled, the Running on Empty review will be aired tomorrow, Tuesday, June 3rd. Not today, tomorrow. If, though, for whatever reason I'm feeling like giving one today, maybe I will. But maybe I won't. I have to conduct a few tests with the camera first, so we'll have to see. You never know, you might get one today by surprise, but definitely expect one tomorrow if I don't put one up today, alright? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the report of the week. Wishing you a safe and pleasant rest of your day. Take care. This is the voice of the report of the week, signing off.